Next week, we play Dijon. Then Toulon will hear of us. Then Lyon. Then Marseille. And then... Paris.
Thanks, John.
Another opening, another show in Philly, Boston, or Baltimore.
I'm gonna take some guys over and let's just pull the deck down.
Another opening of another show.
From here, we go to Chicago, we're going back to Detroit, we're going to Grand Rapids, Atlanta, Wallingford, Connecticut.
Or you're in Tampa, Florida, and the next thing you know, you need to be in Seattle.
I know you've got a truck starting in Jacksonville on Friday, but if I was to have it do a pickup in Miami...
Right. It's hot. It's got to get there. No if, ands, or but. Don't stop. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200 and get your truck there.
2 days before that, can it get to Jacksonville, and then we make a stop in Charleston before it goes
back to New York?
Sometimes they're, 1,000 miles away. Sometimes they're clear across the country.
You would think that the line would go like this, but no, the line goes like this all over the place.
3,700 miles in 60 hours.
We had 113 trailers in transit that one 24-hour period.
That's
all
correct.
in a day's work. It's show business.
It's the show that gives you that drive to be there on time.
Moving shows is like making magic. You're moving magic, and you're moving something magical for everybody. It's got to be that way in every single city.
There's operas, ballets, rock and roll, theatrical, and a few circuses.
Well, it's not like moving lettuce. Trucking theatrical material is a highly specialized and very, very demanding form of transportation. There is no room for error, and there is no room for being late. When a show time is called, we are there without fail. And we guarantee it.
My first show was Hello Dolly, pre-Broadway, Carol Channing, at the National Theater in 1964. And that's when I first had experience with Clark Transfer. And actually, we have to all show up at the back of the truck. That's where it all begins with us. And 35 years I've been having fun with Clark Transfer because they're the ones that make this business happen.
The shows back in the early 40s used to come by train.
If you didn't live in New York or Philadelphia or Boston or where you could get rail service, you never got to see a Broadway show unless you went to New York.
A gentleman by the name of Whitey Moldage, at that time was the president of our company. He and Jim Clark got the idea to take these Broadway shows that come to these big cities and put them on trucks and take them to the smaller towns, so to speak, so that they could enjoy the benefits of Broadway shows.
My dad, Whitey Moldage, and Jim Clark were young boys together in Philadelphia. And they met while they were both hauling bodies after the influenza epidemic in 1917. They were really rough and tumble, kind of street guys. And I know that my father was arrested once for carrying a shotgun to keep people from ripping off the truck.
One of the things I personally feel Clark should be proud of is the fact that companies like the Old Washington Ballet, which I worked with, went to places where they had never heard live music, seen dancers on the stage, seen scenery that was more than just a backdrop. We went into small towns and venues that were absolutely without any possibility of having seen what we were doing ever in their life before. And Clark made this possible.
30 weeks of heaven playing the road. I love to live in a trunk.
I love those sleeper jumps with mattresses with lumps. The midnight train to Wichita that doesn't stop at Wichita. One night stands are heaven, service deluxe. Macbeth helps the stagehands unload.
The mice in every dressing room who watch you get unpacked. The sign above the mirror is the ultimate intact. It says don't send your laundry out until we see your act. How I love the road.
Come on back.
I always come back to Clark. I get there, I know it's going to be there. I know it's going to be handled the best it can. I know that even if it's threading the needle and getting a 48-foot trailer, down an alley with 2 posts and all the, hard things about a load-in, it'll be done right, and it's something that I don't have to worry about.
Go to the right so you can get the whole truck over. We got to move over about a full truck length, full width under to the right.
What we considered bus and trucks 15 years ago were, if it was 1 or 2 or at the most 3 trucks, it was very limited, and it wasn't quite what you saw on Broadway. But today, the people in Omaha, Nebraska, want to see what people are seeing on Broadway. They don't want to see less than that. They're going to pay a ticket price that's almost equal to that. If not equal to that, they want to see what's here.
All of our planning is down to the minute in terms of moving these big shows and making deadlines, making curtains, load-in times around the country, and knowing that we can rely upon Clark to deliver the show on time is an essential component of that.
You want to be ready for their next move, kind of anticipate what they want next, and have it all lined up and ready for them so that when they get done with one truck, the next one's ready to go in.
We have a very difficult loading situation with the amount of area. It's snowing outside. We'll do 4 trucks outside and 8 trucks inside.
You have to be a little quirky to work here. Everyone here, we love it. One of the things we really enjoy is when someone throws us a major challenge. Like, for instance, we have everything set, everything ready to go, and then we have a chance to do another show from point A to point B. We have absolutely no tractors, no trailers, no trucks, no equipment, no nothing, and then we just tear everything apart, throw everything together, and we get it covered in a matter of hours.
Welcome to the theater, to the magic, to the fun.
We had the Italian opera that was snowed in the blizzard last year in Boone, North Carolina.
Now you've entered the asylum. This profession unique.
I think Cindy and I have been through the wars together. To go through the Wyoming blizzard, the Montana, we've been through hell in making some of these days.
Welcome to the theater, my dear. You'll love it so.
Oh, Lord. Weather, you're driving like you were a schoolgirl sitting there with a feather in your panties,
I was on the phone with the state police. I'm like, please, please, it's the Italian opera. You're going to cause an international incident.
Those dreaded calls with the 4 most horrible words in the English language. Where is my truck?
We wait, the truck shows up. We open the doors and it's frozen. The back of the truck is ice.
Locust, no locust.
I got phone numbers. I can call them at home and tell them, stop what you're doing. Late at night, you don't know what they're doing some nights, And I say, where's my truck?
We haven't had pestilence. We've had, cranky border crossings where trucks were held up. Routine border crossing. Not so routine. Fire ants.
These traffic tie-ups. Natural catastrophes.
We had an earthquake in Sunset Boulevard in LA, actually. As we were loading that show out in Florida, a hurricane began and everything started flying down the street.
They had floods.
No floods.
And we opened the first container, and when we opened it, about 100 gallons of water came into our face.
Where's the truck?
The airplane broke down, not the trucks. Elephants? The bus burned, but it wasn't the truck.
I'm on the phone trying to get a hold of a charter. I got my credit card in hand. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm reserving a 747 on my credit card. My husband comes out like, hon, you sure we have enough credit on there? Go back to bed. It's a dream.